Okay, this is my high-speed pinball machine that's for sale. Um, this is the first pinball machine. Actually, I'm sorry, this is the second pinball machine I've bought. I bought a Cyclone. That was pretty nice. And then I bought this one about a week later. And I bought this in the condition it's in. It was actually in worse condition. It was actually in worse condition when I bought it. I fixed a bunch of stuff on it. And being that this is the second machine I bought, I didn't want to buy one really nice. I wanted to be able to have one that was you know, very meh, so I could fix stuff on it, and God forbid I ruined anything, I wouldn't be ruining a mint condition pinball machine. Not that any of my machines are mint condition, but so overall, this is a player's condition machine. This is not a great condition, not a good condition. It's a fair condition machine, and I'm gonna point the stuff out that makes it fair condition to you. You might look at it and say, well, that's not that bad, but I would rather err on the side of caution and say this is fair condition. Alright, so as far as the cabinet goes, I'll start with the exterior. It's got a lot of dings and scrapes in it. I brought my flashlight here because it's in a kind of a weird part of the basement. Got some dings and scrapes. A lot of gouges. It's in an awkward space next to my ball bowler, which I can't really move. Not horrible, but it's got some damage to it. In the back, I don't know if you can see right there. I'll try to focus in on it. Right there in that corner. See that little silver bracket? It looks like that seam in back had started to come apart, and somebody used that kind of bracket to secure it back together. You know, the cabinet's fine. It's not rickety. It's solid. You know, everything goes together the way it's supposed to. I'm guessing it wasn't broken. I'm guessing it was just coming apart. So that's how they fixed it. The sides of the back box, these back boxes are fairly wide, these earlier Williams ones. So it looks like it's been dragged through a door or through doorways. So it's hard to show you again, but there are some pretty deep gouges on the sides of the back box. So if you're a purist, that is definitely going to have to be repainted, bondoed, filled, re-decaled. Alright, it's hard to see. Again, I can't really get in there. Very difficult to move it out. But just take my word for it. It's gouged and pretty beat up as far as the sides go. As far as the playfield goes, I'm missing one of the cards. The card is in the machine somewhere. The apron's in okay shape. It's got some schmegma on it, you know, a little bit of scratches and dings. You know, there's that. The glass itself, I don't have the glass on the machine. The glass is has got a bunch of scratches in it. So the glass is it's fine. You can see through it. It's perfectly usable, but it is far from perfect. The glass. Okay. You have some wear here. Let me get the flashlight again. Have some wear, as you can see down here. Try not to glare too much. Some of this has been, as you can see, it's been touched up. I did not do any of the touch-ups on this machine. That was done by the previous owner. I knew full well they were there, but again, I really didn't care. So a bunch of wear, a bunch of little touch-ups. You can see they probably used a Sharpie or something. Alright. Go up in here. You can see, again, more wear, more touch-ups. More wear, some more touch-ups. A track mode's running. You can see again some Sharpie touch-ups with some Mylar over it. You know, there's a bunch of random patches of Mylar on this thing too. Now, factory Mylar is present, but the places where the factory Mylar isn't present, they did some touch-ups and stuck their own Mylar on it. And the Mylar is lifting a little bit. It's bubbling in a couple little places. You know, the tachometer, if you will, I guess that's what we'll call it. This is all fully Mylar, factory Mylar, and it looks in good condition. You know, some bubbling in there, but not really noticeable when you're playing it. Yeah, Some plastics have a little wear on them. They've been a little, you know, some of the paint's worn off them a little bit here and there. We'll go up this lane. Right here, as far as horrible touch-ups, this is the most glaring. I don't know what someone did with that car, but that is, yeah. I guess that car is worn away, and they did some interesting touch-ups there. Alright, and they put Mylar over it after they touched it up. Again, not super horrible, but, well, it is pretty horrible, let's be honest. But, still perfectly playable. You get some wear there in that kicker, that the kick-out hole right there. The hideout, I think it is. And in the back here, you got some wear. A little wear around here. Got some wear around the pop bumpers too. They looks like they touched it up and they Mylar'd it as well. You can see some Sharpie touch-ups there. I'm sorry if this flashlight's glaring, but it's dark over here and I'm trying to make sure it's visible. See a bunch right there, you can see a bunch there, and again it's all Mylar'd over. Coming down here, you can see I think that's a touch up there, right there. Maybe some more Mylar over that, I can't tell. There you go. This light, he moves around. Looks like the screw's stripped out of the ramp right up here, so he moves around. Doesn't get in the way of the ball. So I haven't had a problem with it. Usually I just pop it back in. I could probably put a washer under there and fix it. Probably make it better. The ramp itself is good. Not perfect, but good. It's not really broken or cracked. The two gates up here work fine when it's time to excuse me, time to lock balls. Yeah. Mechanically the game's fine, everything works, slingshots work, flippers work fine, flashes are all working, all the bulbs are working. The rule set functions as it's supposed to. So that's all good. The back scared the crap out of me. Flashing light works up there. That dome light, I'll try to take it down so you can see it. It's cracked, it's been repaired, it's got some paint on it. I have the best side flipped toward the player, obviously. But it works. It looks red. The back glass is in really nice condition. You know, I mean, tiny itty bitty specks here and there of missing paint, but overall, looks really good. You see some up by his hat here. See some a little bit there. So, looks really good. Displays are nice and bright. They work fine. Let's take this back glass off so I can show you everything on the inside. Pardon me. If you hadn't already realized, I'm filming this with an iPhone, so it's about as fancy as my filming equipment gets. Here are the displays, the original displays. No burned out segments or anything. They all work fine. I do still have incandescents in here. I never got around to changing them out to LEDs. The Playfield is all LEDs, or I think the vast majority of it is LEDs. Maybe not all of it. I forget, to be honest with you. But most of it is LEDs. As far as the boards go, look at our flashlight here again. Boards are all good. I recapped the power supply. I repinned a couple of the connectors here because of the usual burnt connector issues. As you can see up here, that's all been recapped. Connector repinned. I did do the fuse mod here. 2 8-amp slow blows ×2. Where they come with the bridge rectifiers, those aren't fused. They weren't fused from the factory. Williams put out a service bulletin about it, telling operators and owners to make sure they do this mod. I think it was anything before the game Fire fire in before. I don't remember off the top of my head. I know someone, a member recently just had their Pinball catch fire or maybe start smoking. But definitely need to do that. If you have a System 11 game at home that fits in the category and you haven't done that yet, I suggest you do. As someone on the forums will tell you. Other than that, everything's good. No battery damage. Battery's good. This is the original board, or maybe it was switched out at some point in its life, but when I got it, it was fine. So, yeah. Well, you know what? Maybe not. Alright, that knocker coil, let's take that back. The knocker coil looks like it's no good. I didn't realize that until now. Doesn't feel frozen, but that wire, looks like that wire was clipped for a reason. So, alright, consider this, you're going to need to take a look at this knocker coil. Alright. Yeah, alright, so that's a possible issue right there. See, it's a good thing I make this video. I can kind of see things for myself too. You know?
Dispatch, this is 504. Suspect in this fight, over.
Alright, so we don't care about the knocker coil, but the knocker's going to need to be looked at. I have no idea what the problem is where it comes to that coil. I don't even remember if I was the one who clipped that off or not. I don't remember that. I got this a long time ago. I guess we'll look at the inside of the machine. Actually, why don't we lift up the Playfield? We'll do it that way. Try not to let the balls go all over the place. But here's the cabinet. It's okay inside. No, dirty. You know, you'll get all the documentation with it. Manuals and everything. There you go. Right there. If you look, I don't know if you can see. I had a sub hooked up to it. I believe I spliced into the wires over there. I don't know if I still have the sub hooked up to it or not. But I had a subwoofer hooked up to it to try it out. It didn't make much difference on this game. It made a bigger difference in some other games. I never did anything to the coils here. You can see there's some spliced wires. Somebody taped up the capacitor there. I've never had to change the flipper coils for this game. They've always been fine. So just for what it's worth, just take a look at that. Like I said, some LEDs in the tachometer part here. I like the way it looks. And the rest of it is incandescent. There's actually more incandescent bulbs still in here than I thought. So, some LEDs. The rest are incandescent. And you got some LEDs up on the top of the Playfield as well. So, all right. Well, there it is. Anyone interested? Please let me know. Any questions or requests for more pictures, as always, don't hesitate to ask. Actually, no, let's give it a play. All right. Trying to play pinball one-handed while holding an iPhone is not working.